So this, I'm not sure if anyone can read it. Can people read that at the back? No? I'll have this out, but I'll just go over it as well. Here we go. It's the last slide. Just running you through what this slide is about. The idea is that the strategies that we're proposing under the green economy need to sort of align with how many jobs that they can actually create, how far do they take us towards our target. And some of the strategies that we're looking at range from, the first one on this list is a pre-procurement strategy with the clean tech sector. So going into that in a bit more detail, what that means is at regular intervals, we'd like to propose that industry and public sector sit down and sort of talk about a 5 to 10 year plan. Like, this is what the public sector will need over the next 5 to 10 years. And local industry can say, well, this is kind of what we're working on in Vancouver, and this is where technology is going in the next 5 to 10 years. Around procurement, it's very difficult to sort of otherwise interject the local companies and get them talking to procurement because of NAFTA and TILMA and other legal reasons. So the estimate for that is in 10 years you could get sort of another 250 green jobs by just stimulating demand for local companies' technology. Another example is incubators. So whether you have an incubator for clean technologies or for social enterprises, the idea is that if you have an incubator with a target of creating, say, for example, 4 firms per year that have a minimum of 5 employees, over 10 years you could deliver 200 jobs through that kind of a program. This still remains to be complete, but this is an example of some of the recommendations that we're currently looking at. And some of these programs would be led by consortiums of people. Like BDC would have to work with industry partners and different associations to deliver some of these, and some of them would come from policy changes and would be led by, for example, a sustainability group or other city departments. And I think that's it. That's on the next slide. So this would be time for your ideas. I think I wrote this presentation more with the other working groups in mind, so the idea that people were familiar with the process that we were undertaking. So hopefully this was a little clear. But if you have questions as well, it's not just ideas, you can ask me questions in addition.
If you could just go a little more into the definition of what is, like, how do you filter, what is a green job? Like, where it's kind of gray, what is this a green job? Like, is a proposed job a green job, or strategic transportation, is that a green job? Or, because they are kind of...
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing. I think there's a team of experts in Santa Monica who've spent 3 years trying to define what a green job is that correct? What we've taken as a definition is, and this excludes the local food economy, but any job or industry sector that contributes to mitigating climate change or reducing resource consumption or remediating pollution or environmental degradation. That's broadly speaking what the definition is.
Is the adaptation too?
Yeah, I think that would be included as well. Yes, absolutely.
Can you touch on, if I'm a restaurateur that has a green business, though, like source local food and really mindful of my practices, is that a green job?
We haven't done the local food economy yet, as I mentioned, because that wasn't in our initial study. But when you have sectors like that are traditional sectors, but a proportion of the companies within that are operating in a different paradigm, then what we've done is use a multiplier. So you sort of take that industry sector and say, well, how many of the companies within this sector are doing business differently from their counterparts? Restaurateurs would fit under that, but food processing, for instance, which we will now include because it's part of the local food economy, we'd have to sort of look at their sales and see how many go within the region, so we have to define the region, and then how many are for export outside of the region. So with food, that's a very good question, and we're still building that framework.